Ancient writings have a way of completely vanishing for centuries, Daniel, but the Book of Enoch might be the most fascinating case. Imagine discovering a 2,000-year-old manuscript that describes fallen angels teaching humans forbidden technology and giant hybrid beings roaming the earth.
That's such an incredible way to think about it, Pappy. The fact that this text only survived in Ethiopia while the rest of the world completely forgot about it for centuries is mind-blowing.
Well, you know what's really wild about this? We're looking at writings from between 300 BCE and 100 CE, supposedly written by Noah's great grandfather, talk about some serious family history.
Hmm. And the timing places it right in this incredibly dynamic period when different religious traditions were developing and interacting with one another.
So let's dive into the juicy part. These watchers, these angels who basically see human women and think, hey, those earth girls are pretty cute, and decide to abandon their heavenly posts. I mean, that's some profound career change right there.
You know what fascinates me about that story? These weren't just random angels. They were explicitly tasked with watching over humanity. Talk about failing spectacularly at your job description.
Oh, it gets better. These angels don't just stop at dating humans, they start this whole ancient technology transfer program teaching everything from metalworking to cosmetics. It's like they're running some unauthorized divine TED Talks.
That really reminds me of other ancient myths about forbidden knowledge, like Prometheus stealing fire from the gods. What do you make of that parallel?
Well, it's fascinating because in both cases, the knowledge itself isn't necessarily evil. It's more about humanity gaining access to things they weren't ready for. And the consequences in Enoch are pretty intense. You've got these giant hybrid offspring called Nephilim causing chaos everywhere.
The environmental themes in that section feel so relevant today. This idea that corrupted knowledge leads to ecological destruction.
Right? And then poor Enoch gets picked as the messenger to tell these mighty fallen angels they're in big trouble. Like imagine being the HR rep who has to fire Superman. That's basically Enoch's job here.
The text really portrays him as a unique bridge between the human and divine realms, a pretty revolutionary concept for its time.
Then we get to this whole section about the Son of Man or chosen one figure, and you can literally see how it influenced centuries of religious thought. It's like finding the original template for so many later religious ideas.
And the astronomical sections are just incredible, trying to explain the mechanics of the universe through divine revelation.
You know what's really mind bending? The way they tell human history through this complex animal symbolism, different nations represented by other animals. It's like Game of Thrones, but with divine commentary.
That symbolic language they created is so sophisticated, it's basically an ancient political commentary wrapped in metaphor.
And here's something wild. This text was actually quoted in the New Testament in the book of Jude. So we know it was super influential in the first century, even though most religious authorities later deemed it non-canonical.
Well, except in Ethiopia, where it's still considered scripture today. It makes you wonder what other ancient wisdom might be out there, just waiting to be rediscovered.
The themes it deals with, the origin of evil, divine justice, the hope for redemption, are still incredibly relevant today. It's like this ancient voice speaking directly to modern concerns.
That's precisely what makes studying these ancient texts so valuable. They show us how people have always wrestled with big existential questions.
And when you look at how it combines different genres, apocalyptic visions, astronomical treatises, moral teachings, it's like finding an ancient library bound together into one text.
So what do you think is the most surprising thing about the Book of Enoch for modern readers?
I'd say it's a matter of how sophisticated and complex the worldview is. We often think of ancient texts as simple or primitive, but they deal with multiple dimensions of reality, complex cosmology, and some pretty advanced ethical questions. It's like finding out your great great grandparents were writing science fiction.
That really changes how we have to think about ancient wisdom and knowledge, Pappy.
Absolutely, Daniel. And it reminds us that people have always been asking these big questions about where we come from, why there's evil in the world, and what it all means. The answers might change, but the questions stay remarkably consistent